I've just always loved being off the ground. I've always been a daredevil.
Turn it up, let it blast.
Ask 10-year-old me what I want to do. I want to be a professional athlete. Like, it was all about the showmanship for me. Growing up, Tahoe area, it was just what we did. I don't remember a time when it wasn't natural to go skiing every single weekend. I grew up in a Christian family. I always looked up to my dad as my hero. So my parents' divorce was tough on me. I don't know why it took me so long to realize that my dad wasn't perfect, but when I did, it kind of crushed me. I had to discover, okay, why don't I assess the things that he's told me and see if I believe them for myself? I started reading the Quran and the Book of Mormon and the Apocrypha, and I sort of just delved deep into all the other religious texts available to me. And I discovered I was a follower of Christ because that was my identity. The difference in Christianity is Christ came down to us. He loved us enough to sacrifice his life, and that changes the whole dynamic. I was militant in terms of desiring success. I was training, I was working hard. I had all these new tricks that nobody else could do, but I couldn't seem to land a run to save my life in competition. I couldn't let go. I couldn't just let God control it. And I can remember thinking, God, this isn't part of the plan. Why are you doing this to me? No, that's not right. I realized, okay, at the end of the day, this little just bundle of love doesn't care whether I win another competition in my life or not. Same thing with my wife. She doesn't care if I win or lose. She loves me for who I am. She loves me for who God made me to be. For the first time in my life, I was truly just letting it all go, and I was skiing just for the Creator. And I was like, honestly, I don't care what the judges think of me. I don't care whether they reward me for what I do or not. I'm doing this for Christ. And that's when I started winning. Once I started living and worshiping through my skiing, I almost couldn't be beaten. It was perfectly timed. It's almost like God wrote the story. All of a sudden, I went from this high time into some of the hardest times of my life personally, and some of the least successful years of my career in skiing. My wife's dad died. My sister was hit by a boat and lost her leg. My grandmother died, her grandmother died, one of our youth group students died. All of this sort of difficult stuff happened at once, and that translated into me not being very mentally focused when I was skiing. Because people didn't really know what was going on in my life, they just wrote me off. And a lot of my sponsors dropped me. I even got to the point where I was like, man, am I gonna keep doing this? Or is that gonna be the end of the story? I think somewhere in the successful season, I was like, oh, this is for the fame and glory. God was constantly trying to remind me, no, this is your act of worship. This is what you do to worship me. Once I remembered that, I started landing runs again, and the timing was good. That was the tail end of 2017, going into the 2018 season, getting ready for another Olympics. My ski came off on my first run. My ski came off on my second run. So I had 2 throwaway scores. I was praying. I was just like, God, what is going on? And what can I do to land this last run? And I just feel like he reminded me, hey, it doesn't matter what these people think of you. It doesn't matter what your result is at the end of the day. You're out here, you're doing this for me. This is your act of worship.
One more to go.
It's really easy as a professional skier to get caught up in the need for success, or to get caught up in money and contracts and, appearances and all these things. It's really easy to lose sight of why I do this. I'm in this because God made me the way he made me. So I'm constantly trying to remind myself, this is my act of worship.